Good morning. It really is an honor to be here in Estonia, a country that embodies leadership, partnership, resilience, and innovation. And Estonia is not only a steadfast ally in our shared pursuit of security and stability, but also a global pioneer in digital governance and cybersecurity. The Office of the National Cyber Director in the United States really does appreciate your leadership, and the United States government as a whole is eager to build on the lessons we learned here at the Tallinn Digital Summit. And thank you to the Prime Minister for hosting this year's summit, joining so many dedicated leaders from across government, academia, and industry, including our international allies and partners. This event is an inspiring reminder of our shared commitment and responsibility to a secure, prosperous, and sustainable digital future. We currently stand at a pivotal moment in our digital evolution. The convergence of rapid technological advances, global interconnectedness, and the escalating threats posed by malicious cyber actors have thrust cybersecurity to the forefront of our national security and economic prosperity agendas. Innovations like artificial intelligence and quantum computing hold the potential to transform industries and propel global development. But this progress also expands the threat landscape, reminding us that our interconnected world can be both a powerful asset and a substantial vulnerability. There's nothing profound about that statement. Technology spawning both economic growth and threats to the known order have occurred since Mr. Gutenberg fixed his first type. The reality of cyberspace is different. We cannot rely on the better angels of man to adequately mitigate all threats. The challenge is far too distributed for any one of us to tackle alone. That realization is profound. This reality underscores the need for like-minded nations to unite in a shared commitment to secure our digital future. In this global digital ecosystem, every one of us has a critical role in protecting our infrastructure. And when we fail to meet this responsibility, we leave gaps that adversaries are eager and capable of exploiting. So let us recognize that the strength of our digital future depends on our ability to act together. The threats we face are real, they're immediate, and they are evolving. Whether it's persistent malicious cyber actors on our infrastructure or the manipulation of information to sow discord. These challenges demand a collective response. That is why today I'd like to talk to you about digital solidarity. So what do we mean? First and foremost, digital solidarity is not just an ideal, it's an imperative. By prioritizing our collective security, we create a unified defense, not only to protect our values, but to safeguard the critical infrastructure and supply chains that sustain our economies and our way of life. We mean standing together in the pursuit of shared goals, helping each other build capacity, and offering mutual support in a world that is increasingly shaped by technology and our interconnectedness. Digital solidarity is about recognizing that countries use digital tools and technology responsibly, respecting human rights and democratic values. When we do that, we're stronger as we work together. It's about shaping the international digital environment collaboratively and pursuing the boundaries of innovation where they exist and where they change. It means helping each other create resilient and defensible digital ecosystems so that when the inevitable incidents occur, we can respond and recover quickly and be positioned to hold malicious actors accountable. Furthermore, the concept of digital solidarity rests on sustained effort, not only to address today's challenges, but to anticipate the challenges of tomorrow. True digital solidarity is built on shared responsibility, with each partner taking active leadership. From the perspective of the United States, we are extremely proud of the progress that has been made under this commitment. Together with our global partners, we have taken the concept of digital solidarity a commitment to a shared future where countries unite to safeguard our collective digital landscape, and we're turning it into a blueprint for cooperation in our complex, interconnected, and competitive world. The work that's been done over the past several years has demonstrated how digital solidarity can translate from principle to practice across 5 key attributes: openness, resilience, defensibility, digital rights, and equitable access. First, digital solidarity necessitates a commitment to openness. Take, for example, the joint commitment the United States, Estonia, Ukraine, the European Commission, and more than 60 global partners made to promoting a digital future by signing the Declaration for the Future of the Internet. This declaration represents a unified pledge to uphold an open internet, one free from restrictions on lawful content where information can flow freely. This commitment reflects the principle of openness at the core of digital solidarity. It envisions an inclusive digital ecosystem that fosters innovation, collaboration, and equal access to technology, ensuring all nations to participate in the global digital economy without unfair advantage. By advocating for open markets and interoperable systems, we can lay the groundwork for a thriving, interconnected digital world. Secondly, digital solidarity requires a commitment to resilience. The United States and others have shown how this works in practice. After a large-scale incident targeting Costa Rica's government infrastructure, the United States Department of State secured $25 million in assistance to bolster Costa Rica's digital systems. That assistance, together with Costa Rica's own investments and resolve, demonstrates the power of international cooperation between partners to support recovery, learn from cyber incidents, and fortify our collective system to rebuild stronger. Another example is our collaboration with European partners following the Iranian cyber attacks on Albania. The United States and NATO allies quickly surged to provide support. We worked closely with Albania to enhance the cybersecurity of their networks, addressing the specific threats that they faced. This joint effort was crucial, not only for driving recovery, but also for fostering future resilience. Of course, the NATO Cooperative Cyber Defense Center of Excellence right here in Tallinn stands as an exemplary model of collaboration amongst allies. This center provides vital training, expertise, and support to strengthen national defenses against malicious cyber activity. These examples show that resilience, our ability to withstand and recover from cyber incidents, means empowering countries to continue to build robust cybersecurity infrastructures, share best practices, and together strengthen our collective capabilities. Resilience and digital solidarity is not about eliminating all threats. Sadly, we cannot do that. But it is about ensuring we can endure and adapt together. Third, we must maintain a commitment to a defensible digital ecosystem. While resilience focuses on recovery after a cyber incident, defensibility is about taking proactive measures to prevent breaches in the first place. It starts with a strong foundation. At the hardware level, this means robust semiconductors that anchor our digital applications. For our networks, this means taking steps to advance zero-trust architectures, invest in post-quantum cryptography, implement secure internet routing, and move towards requiring memory-safe languages. Here, too, digital solidarity makes what we do better. Take, for instance, the steps our global community has taken to address the threats posed by cryptographically relevant quantum computers. The National Institute of Science and Technology recognized years ago how a quantum computer could fundamentally undermine the security of our systems. So we began to discover, test, and standardize post-quantum cryptographic algorithms as far back as 2015. We relied heavily on our international partners, with over 25 countries submitting algorithms for consideration. And in August of this year, we standardized 3 post-quantum encryption algorithms that are ready for immediate use. By leading on post-quantum cryptography, we're not just protecting our systems, we're helping secure the system of our allies and our future. Fourth, digital solidarity requires that we be rights-respecting. Consider the EU's General Data Protection Regulation, GDPR. This landmark regulation demonstrates that it is possible to establish global standards for data privacy and user rights, ensuring that technology serves the people, not the other way around. The United States, too, is actively collaborating with partners to protect these rights. Through a coalition of 45 international partners, we're working to prevent the misuse of surveillance technologies by governments. And our colleagues at the State Department are taking on technology-facilitated gender-based violence, tackling this challenge on a global scale. These examples remind us that human rights do not disappear when we log on. Our policies must reflect our democratic values, safeguard privacy, and uphold the right to free expression, which are cornerstones of any society committed to the dignity of people. And we must continue to do this in the face of authoritarian regimes that increasingly use digital tools to restrict those rights, seeking to control information and silent dissent. Finally, we must cultivate a prosperous digital ecosystem by expanding equitable access to technology and fostering economic growth through innovation. Our goal is to create opportunities that uplift both communities and nations, particularly those communities that feel passed over by the digital age. The United States Digital Connectivity and Cybersecurity Partnership embodies this vision. Through this program, we are investing in digital infrastructure and cybersecurity in developing countries, showing how targeted efforts can not only strengthen security, but also stimulate economic growth, create jobs, and improve livelihood. These examples that I've shared today are proof that by pursuing actions which embrace openness, resilience, defensibility, respect for human rights, and shared prosperity, we can create a digital solidarity that protects us all. And make no mistake, inaction carries significant risk. So we have to take on digital solidarity. Otherwise, consider the alternative. An era where a lack of coordination leaves each of us vulnerable, our systems prime targets for manipulation by hostile forces aiming to disrupt, control, or destabilize. Remaining passive is not a neutral stance, it is a risk. In today's connected world, failing to act places each nation, each network, as a potential linchpin in a global supply chain that bad actors could manipulate to their strategic advantage. Some may be tempted to cut corners, chasing short-term gains, even supporting adversaries' attempts to distort the market if it favors profit today, but at what cost? Are we really willing to sacrifice long-term competitive and technological advantage for fleeting quarterly profit? Such short-sighted choices come at the expense of future peace and prosperity. The reality is clear. Threats in today's digital landscape will reach each of us in one form or another sooner or later. The question is whether we face them alone or together. It is in all of our best interests, and it is our collective responsibility to ensure a future where technology uplifts and empowers rather than divides and diminishes. And no recent event has underscored both the danger we face and the strength of digital solidarity more than the Russian invasion of Ukraine and the resolute international response that followed. On Estonian Independence Day, President Putin launched an assault against Ukraine without provocation, without justification, or without regard for human life. Every effort by the international community to avoid bloodshed has been met with contempt as he chose violence over diplomacy. Yet, while President Putin anticipated a swift victory, Ukraine's defenders, fueled by their own resilience and supported by international allies and the private sector, stood firm and have defied him. In the face of this aggression, Ukraine has fought back valiantly, demonstrating that a commitment to sovereignty, shared principles, and collective action can prevail. The U.S., alongside with the foreign ministries of nations represented here today, has worked to bolster Ukraine's digital defenses, not only through military support, but also through essential civilian cyber capacity building as part of the Tallinn mechanism. Together, we have shared intelligence and provided technical support, helping Ukraine exercise its fundamental right to defend itself in cyberspace, a right that digital solidarity makes possible and that we must continue to champion. Special recognition is owed to our host, Estonia, whose embassy in Kyiv has tirelessly coordinated these efforts, and we are excited to see that Estonia will take over as head of the mechanism for the next 6 months. Your leadership comes at a vital time in our support for Ukraine. I must also add that the remarkable cyber defense that Ukraine mounted in response to the invasion would not have been possible without the swift, decisive support of the private sector. Companies sprang into action to ensure that critical data, access, secure networks, and to quickly identify and contain threats. This public-private collaboration stands as a powerful testament to how united efforts can make a real, immediate difference in countering cyber aggression. To truly strengthen our defenses, it requires more than just partnerships between nations. It demands an approach that brings together public and private sectors. This united response, alongside the substantial military cyber capacity building efforts, has not only strengthened Ukraine's resistance, it has reinforced and strengthened our global alliance. This is digital solidarity in action. However, we cannot overlook the fact that this struggle has come at an enormous cost. Russian missiles have devastated Ukrainian cities, targeted civilians, and disrupted critical infrastructure. The Ukrainian people have paid a staggering price, enduring immense suffering as they stand firm against an onslaught designed to dismantle their democracy and their way of life. In light of their sacrifices, it is clear that digital solidarity is more than just a shared principle. It is an essential lifeline for preserving stability and safeguarding vital systems in the face of aggression. Because while the authoritarian often fights alone, democracies fight together. And in these joint fights, digital solidarity carries with it the notion that we are co-equal partners. Co-equal partners does not mean that our roles are forever fixed. To uphold and advance digital solidarity, our responsibilities must evolve. We must remain open to adapting our roles to meet the demands of an evolving landscape. And let me be clearer. The United States does not, nor should it, always take the lead. Real progress happens with the sharing and shifting of responsibilities, with each of us leading where we have the expertise and resources to do so. Our strength lies in this flexibility, in allowing each country to step forward when and where it can be most impactful. The reality is there's so much that we can and must learn from one another. We find ourselves here in Estonia today, a country that serves as a beacon for cybersecurity innovation. 17 years ago, Estonia endured a wave of denial of service attacks. And instead of backing down, Estonia chose to defend and strengthen its information defenses and e-governance structures, areas in which Estonia has become a recognized global leader. Estonia's resilience inspires us all to learn from our past experiences, pushing towards a future built on shared strength. And for Estonia's aggressors to the east, it should have been a clear message. The free people of this world fight together and will not back down to a poor imitation of a 20th century dictator. Advancing digital solidarity calls on each of us to play a part. Every country has something to contribute, and to build a more resilient, secure, and inclusive digital ecosystem. So, in this moment, I encourage us to consider what role will each of us take on. We need policy leaders setting ambitious standards for cybersecurity, data protection, and digital rights. By leading on policy, our countries can pave a way for aligned global standards and demonstrate what's possible. We need capacity builders, those sharing resources, training, and expertise to help others strengthen their digital foundations. We need innovators, countries investing in research and pioneering public-private partnerships that bring solutions that all of us can benefit from. And we need coalition builders, forging partnerships and bridging governments, organizations, and tech communities. When we unite on issues like internet governance and tech equity, we strengthen the fabric of our global community. Those of us with greater resources, we must step up as financial supporters, funding initiatives that improve security and help close the digital divide, especially for communities where resources are scarce. And finally, in times of crisis, we are going to need emergency responders, ready to help when cyber incidents threaten our digital infrastructure, taking swift action to keep people safe, connected, and informed when they need it most. Our collective prosperity, resilience, and self-determination depend on our ability to act together, to step in when others cannot, or when some choose not to. We've witnessed the power of digital solidarity in action, from collective NATO support to Albania to the steadfast resilience of Ukraine. These stories are not just tales of survival, they are blueprints for safeguarding our shared values and for securing our digital future. Over the coming weeks and months, each of us is left with a choice. Will we take the field against those who would sow chaos against our digital systems? Or will we remain on the sidelines, defaulting the future to our common adversaries? For the last 3 years, we have jointly chosen action. We must continue to do so. Thank you.